Hello, today we're going to learn about Rstudio and Git. So we're going to install Git and create a repository of a project inside Rstudio, and we learn the basic commands of Git and also push our project repository to GitHub. Let's see how to go about it. Okay, for this you'll require a GitHub account, so you can create an account here, and we need to log in using your GitHub account. So my GitHub account is here, so I'm going to type my password and sign in. So once you sign into GitHub, you need to create a repository. So first create a repository, and you need to write a name for the repository. So let's say tutorial, and you can make it a public repository or a private repository. So let's try with public repository. So you can add a readme file, add a git ignore file, and since we are using R, we can add git ignore for R programming language. So we search for the R programming language and choose that, and you can choose a license. So let's choose MIT, and I click create repository. Once the repository is created, so it has created a git ignore file, a license file, and a readme file on the github.com website. So first we need to copy this address of your repository. So let's copy this, and we go to our Rstudio and click File, Create a Project, and here we select version control, clone a project from a Git repository, and we're going to type or paste our remote repository URL. So let's give it a name. So I'm going to call it tutorial, and the subdirectory of the project where you would like your project. So I'm going to choose home directory and create project. So now it is going to pull our repository from GitHub and save a copy on your local laptop or a desktop in a folder called tutorial. So if I click home, so there is a folder called tutorial, and this has got the same files that are there on our github.com tutorial repository. So we have a license, readme, and a tutorial.r project. So how do we go about using Git inside Rstudio? So for that, so we already have a license, readme, so we need to create a R script or a R markdown. So let's create a R script, and let's type something. Okay, line 1, line 2, and save this and give it a name. So maybe I say a file 1.r, and I save it in my tutorial repository. So my file is saved here. So now I have edited something in file1.r. So the concept of Git here is in your local host computer. So we have a repository in the GitHub called as demo tutorial, and we created a file in our working directory which is here. So this is a working directory, and there is also a local.git repo which is not visible because it is a hidden folder. So to see that, so we can choose terminal and new terminal. So inside the new terminal, so we have our tutorial, and we check our folder by typing ls, and if I type ls -la, so we know that it has a .git hidden folder, and this .git hidden folder has got all the Git related configuration. Like for example, if I get into the hidden Git folder, and if I type ls, so and if I type tree ls, so it has got details related to branches, description, hooks, info, head, and config. So we don't need to worry about this .git because all the configuration will be inside. So we going to use the graphical user interface for learning Git. So we have added 2 lines here. So if you look here, so there is a tab called Git. So if I click Git here, so there are some tabs. So there's a diff, commit, pull, push, history, more, and this button is for the branches. So let's understand how Git works. So in my working directory, I make changes in file1.md, and when I use a git command called git add, it goes to a staging area, and from the staging area it goes to a local.git repo when you use git commit. So that's how you make modification for your file, stage it, and it goes to the staging area, and from the staging area you use git commit, and it goes into the .git repository. Okay, let's see how this happens. So we made some changes, and we need to click this button called commit. So when I click commit, so I get this changes tab. So I know the status is saying that there is a question mark. That means it is untracked files. So there are 2 files that needs to be sent to the staging area. So I can choose this tick button and the second tick button for file1r and tutorial.rproj. So once I stage this, so from here it is going to the staging area. So once I do that, so I can write a commit message. The commit message is added file1.r, and I click commit. Okay, so my 2 files are committed, and I see that if I click this history, so I got 2 commit is. So they say the initial commit is this one, and the second one is added file 1 R. So origin main and origin head. So origin main means the GitHub project location. So the GitHub project location is known as origin, and main is your main branch, which is on your local computer. And this is our first commit, and we added line 1 and line 2, and we gave a commit message as added file 1.r. Okay, so that is our commit, first commit. Okay, so let's do similar commits. Okay, so now I'm going to add another file called file2. So in this one I say this is a second file, and I'm going to save this as file2.r. Okay, so now I added file2.r, and here you can see it is saying that you added this file to your local repository and you are not yet staged. So I can use this check-in box to stage this. So I can tick this, and now it is staged and it is added. So since I have added this, so now I need to commit it. So let's click commit, and here it's already staged and added, and I can say add file 2.r. Okay, so now I can click commit. So one file changed and one insertion, and now if I click this button, view history of previous commits, so now I got two commits, added file 1r and add file 2.r. Okay, so now we need to push this to the remote repository. So how do we do that? So we can use this button. So here you can click this button called push, and it is going to ask for your username. So my username is demo tutor, and click OK, and we need to type our password. Once you type the password, click OK, and the local repository is being uploaded to the github.com demotutor/tutorial.git. So if you go to our demotutorial.git, you will see the changes which are made in the local computer. I refresh this, and you can see that file 1.r was added 4 minutes ago, and file 2.r was added 2 minutes ago. So this is how you use Git to push to your remote repository. Alright, so similarly you can keep on adding changes to your files, like for example add second line here, and I save. The moment I save, it says okay, status, the file has been modified. So now I need to stage this. So once I stage, I need to commit it. So in the change history, so it is saying that I have added these two lines, the third line and the fourth line, and I can say add few more lines, and I can click commit. So one file added, and there is another commit. Okay, so now if I click history, then I have the third commit which is available here. Alright, so like this you can keep on adding.